Hi guys! Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be closing out February's budget. We're going to be going over all of this income. February was a really nice month for us, but we didn't spend it all on frivolous things. We actually put our money to good use. So I'm going to go over all of that with you today. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then stay tuned. If this is your first time joining me, well, hi, my name is Emmy. I am a married person. I'm in my 30s, and I created this budgeting channel mostly to keep my family accountable. We are a family of four, my husband and I, and we have two kids that are ages 6 and under. And we just we have always been making it, right? Like we'd get a paycheck, we'd have enough to pay our bills, we would have enough to buy groceries and all of those things. And we never had to like pinch pennies. It was always like just enough, but we never had a chance to put money away for savings, which led to things like credit card debt, student loans. And we're at a place now in our life where we want to start putting money away for future things like getting into our forever home, saving up for kids' college funds, lots of long-term things like that. So I created this budgeting channel. I just wanted to keep track of how my family's doing and trying to get out of debt and trying to achieve our financial goals. If that sounds like something you are interested in following along with us on, then please feel free to subscribe. Please, we'd love to have you here. Also, like this video so I know you want to see more content like this. To all my returning subscribers, hello, hello. It is so good to see you. You guys are just awesome. Like, I could post a video once every 2 weeks and y'all are still here saying hi, saying hello. And what would I do without you? What would I do without your constant support and just kind words in the comment section? I just love you guys so much. Leave me a comment down below so I know you stopped by. So like I said, February was a really good month for us. We were able to take in a lot of income that I wasn't expecting, but I didn't just spend it all in one place. I did put it towards good uses, savings, and extra debt payments. So I wanted to go over those details with you now. By the way, this is a budgeting kit that I have created. I do have my own Etsy shop where I sell different budgeting stickers, also digital downloads where you can print off PDF documents or you can download them and use them on an iPad. But yeah, if you are interested in anything that you see, feel free to check out my Etsy shop down below. So when it comes to my monthly budget, I do like to use my sticker kits because I do require a lot of extra lines that some budgeting kits just don't offer. So the stickers kind of give me flexibility so I can have as many lines as I need to for all of my different categories. So the first thing I like to do in my budget is I like to list out all of the income that I am expecting, and then from there I know exactly what I can divvy out to the different categories. So my husband, he gets paid once a month, and he got paid a little bit more than I expected. Not sure why, but I'm not going to complain about it. I got paid. Okay, so this happened to be the month where I received a promotion. Yay, me. So before I was just an insurance team lead that kind of worked as an outside contractor for this mortgage servicing company. But now that I've got promoted to insurance supervisor, I now officially work for a mortgage servicing company and not the contracting company anymore. So this was the month where they had to pay out all of my PTO for my old position, and then I got officially hired in my new position with my higher pay and everything that started this month. My first paycheck, I expected it to be normal, like how it was when I was the old role as the insurance team lead, and then I expected to have a PTO payout of that role. So $13.80 for my normal everyday, 40 hours a week, and then my PTO payout. But what they ended up doing instead is they combined all of it into one check. So you can see here, I didn't get my PTO payout, but they included it all in this check. For the second paycheck that I had, this was my first official check with being the insurance supervisor with my new role. And I happened to join on the very last day of a pay period. So this was just 1 day's worth of pay for that check. So that's why that one's so small. And then paycheck number 3, I wasn't sure how much to expect because of taxes and benefits and everything that was going to be taken out. But my actual real paycheck was a little bit more than expected, so that's always good. Usually every month we spend about $1,000 worth of sinking funds. This month we spent a little bit more just because February is my husband's birthday. It was also Valentine's Day, and we did a couple of extra spending in other categories as well. Most of what we spent this month we had in our different sinking fund accounts. I think we only had to use about $100 or so from our bank account buffer to cover all of the sinking fund spending, which isn't too bad. I do have a baking side business where I bake cookies and cupcakes and all kinds of things for birthdays and weddings and baby showers. And I do pay myself 25% of whatever it is I make. So 25% of my profits in February was $38. So I put that into our budget. We do use an American Express credit card, and we use that for all of our everyday spending, such as gas and groceries, but we pay off whatever it is that we spend at the end of every day, so that way this card never has a balance. Even though we have this as a credit card, this is not one of our debts. We use this credit card only for the cash back rewards that we receive every month. Our credit card was following a trend of where we would be receiving about $80 back a month, but we received $54.57 this month. Our bank account was super generous and gave us 2 pennies. My husband, he is a high school teacher, and occasionally he makes purchases for his classroom which require reimbursements. And so he did make a couple of hefty purchases this month, and he was able to be partially reimbursed for that. We're still waiting on a couple more reimbursement checks. And then here was the big surprise for the month. We got our tax refund back for state and federal taxes. Usually when we file taxes, first of all, we never usually file this early. And even if we did, we probably don't get our refund until about April. But we got this back early, which is really great because we have some plans for this money. And I'll talk about that maybe in another video. And our other income, this $150.16, in my company, someone had passed away, and so everyone in the insurance department decided to chip in to pay for flowers to send to his friends and family. And so I collected $150 for that bouquet, and then the 16 cents was just an income that I got from my Etsy shop. I did make a couple of sales this month, but I also listed a couple of things and shipped a couple of things, and it all kind of plus minus equaled out to where Etsy deposited just 16 cents. But I don't take home anything from my Etsy business. I just put it back into a separate account that I have where I can keep track of all of my business spending. Anyway, all of that to say, we received $15,317.51. That is insane. I thought my estimated or budgeted income was a lot because this is already way more than we normally take in. But because of like my promotion and PTO and all of those things, like this was a big amount. We basically took home double that. That is crazy, just crazy. But it comes in and it goes right back out. Am I right? So after I take a look at what my income is, the next category I like to budget for is my bills, because these are things that need to be paid no matter what. Otherwise, you don't have lights, you don't have running water. This is the important stuff. So all of our bills, I mean, I could go line by line for what they are, but they're the basics: internet, daycare, subscription services. Sure, some of these things are not completely necessary, such as Spotify, Amazon Prime, but these are things that we like to have, things that make sense to us and our needs. So all of our bills come out to $1,484.89. If I subtract that from our income, we have $13,832.62 left to work with. So the next category I like to go into is the debt payments. And these are just as serious as bills. These are usually the minimum debt payments we have to pay for all of our different debts. And I do include mortgage and car payments in those debts, along with credit card payments, of course. But some people include their mortgage and car payments in the bills category. But since we had to take out loans in order to pay for those things, I consider those debts. So everything came out as expected, all of those minimum payments. Here is the surprising thing. I was expecting to only put $100 extra towards extra debt payment. We were able to put away $3,042.30 towards extra debt payments. Like, that's awesome. Not only was I able to get rid of my Capital One credit card, I no longer have this credit card. It is cut up and thrown in the trash. I am so happy to be rid of Capital One. Ugh. But I was also able to pay $2,000 extra towards our next debt, which is just an incredible feeling. I thought it would take forever to move on to our next priority debt, but yay, so excited. So that means for debt payments, we spent $5,014.18. If I subtract that from what we had left over, we now have $8,818.44 to work with in our next category. And the next category is expenses. So these are things that you don't necessarily have a monthly payment per se. It's not like you have to pay this water bill, otherwise your water will get cut off. These are things that you need in order to survive, such as your groceries, your gas, but there isn't necessarily a monthly payment that goes along with it, and you can kind of adjust and be flexible based on your family and your usage, your budget. And so for us, we do have expenses where we cover our food. This includes groceries and eating out. And in our grocery budget, I do include all household spending as well, such as toilet paper, paper towels, laundry detergent. That's all included in the groceries. And then eating out, I include in the same category, mostly because if we spend, $200 on groceries, the chances are we should not be eating out as much. Or if we have a really busy week where we're eating out almost every day, then it's supposed to balance out to where I shouldn't be grocery shopping and spending $300 because we ate out for all of our meals. I hope that makes sense. Of course, we do have a category for gas and transportation, but these are two other categories that I like to track, my husband's allowance and my allowance. Not everybody gives their family members spending money, but I find if you don't have personal spending money, you will go crazy and you will tend to splurge on a big ticket item and you might not have money for that. So I think if you're allowed to spend a little bit here, a little bit there, it kind of prevents those big splurges later. So right now what seems to be working for my family is $100 a week for my husband. I recently upped my allowance to $100 a week as well because of my promotion. Before I didn't give myself as much because in my previous role I was working from home and then transitioned to a hybrid schedule. But now because I am a supervisor, I am required to go to an office every day. And so with all of that commuting, I now run into the same obstacles that my husband runs into, which is he likes to stop for coffee, or maybe he wants to grab lunch, or maybe a snack at the gas station. Although I don't have band rehearsals and after school practices like he does, I do tend to go out and indulge myself and treat myself to lunch maybe more often than I should. But hey, I got the promotion. I deserve it. So it seems to be working okay so far with $100 a week. By the way, these numbers are adjusted a little bit because the first week in February happened to be 9 days for us. So because that first week was 9 days long, I had to kind of make some adjustments there. And for gas and transportation, I like to give us $100 a week as well, but again, made a little bit of adjustments for the gas. And as I said, we usually are expected to spend about $1,000 worth of sinking funds, and I never budget anything for unbudgeted. However, here's how we did. We stayed under budget overall when it came to our food spending, which is great. My husband was over budget by only, what, $18? Not too bad, not too bad. I did spend a lot more than I thought I was going to. I kind of expected to be a lot more under budget than this, but I'm still proud to be under the budget that I allotted for myself. When it came to gas and transportation, we were under budget. And then sinking funds, like I said, we just spent a lot of sinking funds. I really just didn't take into account the fact that February would be extra spendy. Then for unbudgeted, we did have a couple of unbudgeted spends. About $600 or so was spending my husband made for his school. And like I said, he did get a reimbursement of about $400 for that. We're still waiting on the other $200-ish to be reimbursed for that. And then the remaining $600, $700 or so of unbudgeted, I caved and bought myself a PlayStation 5. And I'm gonna be honest, the only reason why I bought it is because I needed, not wanted, needed the Hogwarts Legacy game. And I was just fighting with myself, trying to say, you don't need to spend this much on a gaming system for just one game. And part of me was like, you can wait, because I don't have a PlayStation 5, but I do have an Xbox One. I do have a Nintendo Switch. I was like, if you just wait, then they will make a game, the Hogwarts Legacy, they'll make it for a gaming system you already have. It doesn't make sense to buy a new gaming system for just one game. Like, all you want is the one game. It just looked so good. It just the game looked so amazing. Everyone looked like they were having so much fun. The graphics look amazing. And then I told myself, okay, what if you bought another game too? So I've been watching the HBO show The Last of Us, which is based off of a PlayStation game. And so I was like, okay, if I buy this system and I buy it for 2 games, is that as bad? I'm spending more money, but it makes more sense to buy the system. I'm not buying it for just 1 game, I'm buying it for 2. That makes sense, right? Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played The Last of Us at all, partially because Hogwarts Legacy is the best, and also partially because I don't want to get too ahead of myself to where I'm watching in the show, because people that I've talked to who've played the game before and are watching the show, they say that they follow the narrative of the game so closely. And so I don't want to play the game and then know what's going to happen next before I even watch it. Does that make sense? I mean, maybe that's dumb, because obviously people who are watching the show are excited about it because they played the game. But if you haven't watched The Last of Us on HBO, it is amazing. The acting, the heartstrings, boom, they just pull them just like that. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Anyways, so I spent a good chunk of money on a PlayStation 5 plus 2 games. Was it necessary? I could sit here and argue yes, but let's be real, it wasn't. But we did receive a whole bunch of tax refund money, and I did have a plan for that tax refund money. And would it have been better to go towards extra debt? Sure. But I now have something that I enjoy doing. It's something for me, and I'm just, I don't know. I'm pumped about it, and I'm excited. I'm not mad that I made that purchase at all. Honestly, I don't know why I feel like I have to justify my purchases to you all, but I mean, maybe it just comes with the whole accountability part of this channel. Okay, anyways, so all of that being said, I did spend $5,637.21 in all of these expenses this month, which is a lot. So that leaves us with $3,181.23 left, and all of that basically went towards my final category, which is savings. So savings, we have a couple of different pots. We have a save and go account where every time a direct debit comes out of our checking account, Wells Fargo, the bank that we use, takes a percentage of that and moves it into a savings account. And right now we have it set up to where it's being moved to our emergency fund. We already have well over $1,000 in our emergency fund, and I'm not in any big hurry to make that any larger. So the fact that every month just like $15 or so is being moved into that emergency fund account, it kind of slowly is increasing that emergency fund without me having to purposefully add money to it, if that makes sense. It's just being added automatically. Yeah, it's a nice service. I'm glad we have it. I do have a Disney challenge that I'm doing, and I am so excited because of all of our tax refund money. I was able to put $750 away towards this Disney challenge. Now, I know I probably should have put this towards extra debt, but the way that I'm thinking, we plan on moving to a different house because we currently live in a house that we bought as like our starter home. But now that I had my daughter, she is 2 years old now, we're just outgrowing our home and we need to move into what needs to really be our forever home. And as soon as we sell our house, we've already put in enough equity where we're going to use the equity not only to purchase our new home, but also we'd be able to pay off our Wells Fargo credit card. We'd be able to pay off a personal loan that we took from my mother-in-law. A lot of debts will be gone once we sell our house because that's just how much equity we have in our home at the moment. So even though our next priority debt is our Wells Fargo credit card, I don't feel like it's as important because we're going to be moving in about 3-4 months. So I kind of like have that. It's a priority, but not, I don't know if that makes sense. However, my kids are growing up. Like it's coming. Like my son, he's going to turn 7 in May, and my daughter, she is 2. And so like the magic of Disney World is slowly diminishing, especially for my eldest. So I really want to take them to Disney World. We probably won't be able to save up the amount necessary for this summer, especially if we plan on moving. But I'm hoping like next year or the year after that would be a great time to take them to where they would still be old enough to appreciate it. But in order to do that, we got to make some progress towards this challenge. So I'm so excited that I was able to put $750 away. I'm planning to save about $4,000 for our family's trip. For the penny challenge, I never budget anything for that. It's just kind of whatever was left over from my allowance each week. And it ended up being only $3.48 that I was able to put towards the penny challenge. And for the dice savings challenge, that is a challenge I do with my personal allowance. It is a challenge that I purchased from Budget with Ira, where you roll a 20-sided die and whatever number it lands on, that's how much I take out of my personal spending money, and I'll put it in a savings envelope. I was only able to do that challenge one time this month, and so $7 was put away towards that challenge. And then as for sinking fund deposit money, I was able to put the $1,400 that I had budgeted into our different sinking fund accounts. And then on top of that, I put an extra $1,000 into our house sinking fund because we are planning on doing a bathroom renovation in order to get our home ready for sale. We estimate that in order to have that taken care of, it'll probably be around $1,000. So I went ahead and put that away. So all we got to do is call the plumber. Boom, we got that money set aside for that. I'm so excited. Like I said before, the 16 cents I received as income from Etsy, I just put right back into my Emmy Budgets account. So that means that we saved a total of $3,175.64. If I subtract that from what we had left, we have a bank buffer of $5.59. All of that money went somewhere. I'm so excited. So that's the basic gist of February. I do have another video coming out where I'm going to be breaking down all of the extra income we received and where specifically we're going to put it soon, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope your February budget went well. If not, don't worry. It's March. We got a brand new month. We can start all the way over. We can do this, you guys. It's going to be a another good month. I can feel it. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.